Yeah, I'm David Hicks. I'm the CEO of Homevestors. Many people probably don't know who Homevestors is, but they probably have seen our billboards. We buy ugly houses, and we are a franchisor. We have over 1,000 franchises all over the country, and that's what we do. We buy ugly houses. Great question. The reality is, we buy houses that typically need repair, that homeowners had it. It either needs repair or needs updating. Many times it's an older house. I think 80% of the houses we buy were built in 1980 and before. The homeowner maybe hasn't, maybe it's an elderly, maybe it's an inherited house, that they just haven't been able to keep the house up. And so it needs that repair. We like to say we improve neighborhoods one house at a time. We buy the ugliest house in the neighborhood and make it the nicest house. There's a lot of reasons. One of them just simply is that they have a house that maybe they inherited, that they need to sell, or they maybe it's the parents need to move out and downsize or move into another house. A lot of reasons. There's also, we say, not just an ugly house, but sometimes there's an ugly situation. Maybe they're going through a divorce. At times it's just that they don't have the time, the money to do what they need to do to sell it through normal real estate channels. And so they find us, they see that billboard, people recognize the billboard, it is very recognizable, and they call us, and our franchises help them out of that ugly situation, because typically we buy the house and we can close in as little as 2 weeks. They just simply call our franchise, or they fill out a web form that comes to the franchisee. Those calls literally ring on the franchise's phone. Franchise sets an appointment, goes out, looks at the house, evaluates what the process is. We have an app on an iPad that they can go put all the parameters of a house in. They can go, literally walks the franchisee through what they need to do to value that house, gives them a recommended number that they ought to pay for the house. And then they simply write up a contract, and the franchise seller doesn't need to do anything except the franchise walks them through the whole process, makes it very easy for them. So that's kind of how it works. Probably a third to 40% of the houses we buy, we actually sell to other investors. We found other investors that want houses in that area, want a rental property or a property that they can fix up in that area. About 40 to 45% of our franchise actually fix them up and then retail them to an end user. So they do the repairs and sell it to another. Typically, it's first-time home buyer or somebody that wants in that area. And the rest of them, which goes 10 to 15%, our franchises actually turn into rental properties, and they keep as rental properties. The biggest number of franchises we have, David, never bought a house before they joined us. So we walk them through all the steps, how to go find the house, how to value the house. We have a week training here where we bring them in and they literally walk through the process, everything on how our advertising works, how to manage the leads, how to we take them out on a bus and go look at houses and talk about how to value the house. Then when they get back to where their city is, they work with what we call a development agent. That's a mentor, a coach that coaches them through the process of how to begin building a business. It's not easy. Our business is a very complicated business, but it's very simple. They can literally go through the steps, and we have people to help them through each step of the way. Our training never ends. One of the best things, David, our franchises like is we have a team atmosphere where the franchise in that city and the franchises all over the country help other franchises. Most people start at the associate level, but they can come in what we call a full franchise. That is $70,000 for a franchise fee. And then they have a transaction fee every time they buy. Sorry, it starts at 3% and it goes down to 0.8% based on the more they buy. And then the associate franchise has a much lower entry level. That starts at 30,000 for the associate franchise, and they have the difference in the fees are it has the same 3% down to 0.8, but there's an associate royalty fee of 2% on top of that they get credit for half of that towards the upgrade to full. And you kind of earn that full. Most people start at 30,000 associate franchise, and then kind of earn their way to a full franchise. We assign every franchise a development agent, a mentor, and we pay them out of their transaction fees. And so we believe in that so much that we pay them to support the franchise. And so not only do they get support from us, but they get support of that development agent. Franchise, we have, David, franchises that buy, everything from 4, 5, 6 a year to where our top people buy over 100 a year. And so we have levels that a franchise can buy depending on what their goals are. A lot of them will start part-time and then build their way up to full-time, but then probably over half of them will come in full-time right off the bat. But they can do it based on what their goals are and what their depending on their experience. A lot of people try it, and then they come join us. It is because the things that our franchise offers, there's several things. One's a brand. We Buy Ugly Houses recognized brand. People, it gives them credibility of doing that. Second are the leads. And if you were doing it yourself, you go in and, in fact, there's a lot of people we get. They go to all these seminars that are all over. The gurus say, let me show you how to do it. And then they say, okay, now go buy houses. And the next question is where? And that's what our advertising, our marketing does, is that we have a way to get the phone to ring where they call you. So that's the second thing. The third is that the training and the systems, everything in place for a franchise to run their business. And then the fourth is that mentoring and marketing, mentoring the development agents. Those are the 4 reasons why people join us. I will tell them, but the reality is our people stay with us. And I think the big reason, there's 2 real reasons they stay with us. One's the leads, and the second one is the team. Having that group of franchises that will help them be successful, and that they coach them and they mentor them, they tell them what they do that's successful, and they learn from each other. Even our most experienced guys, they will tell you that what they like more than anything else is coming to our conventions, and where else will somebody that bought 150 houses last year tell you how they did it? Just introduced a new lending portal where our franchises can go. If they have a house they're buying, they can enter this portal. We send it out to 7 lenders and help them get the best rates. And so I don't think they can get that anywhere else. And so we have an insurance company that gives special rates to our franchises that they don't give to anybody else because they know what our franchises do. And plus, we have a pretty good volume with them. They buy a franchise, they're buying a specific market. They follow pretty much either a DMA or an MSA, depending on the areas. It's an advertising market where the advertising goes. Each lead is specific to that franchise. It is sent to one franchisee. They put their advertising in, and that when somebody calls, it's their turn, their phone rings. And let's talk about how our franchise make money, because that's the biggest ways they make money is they buy the houses, they sell them, and the margins they have there is the biggest way to make money. If they want to learn how to make this a business, and I don't know any place else in the country they can learn how to do what our franchises do, because we walk them through the steps on how to do that and how to create a real business of buying and selling houses, because that's what ours do. They set their goals whatever level they want to, and our franchises, whether it's buying 5, 10, 15 a year or buying 100 a year, we can help them with how to get there.
Your own Homevestors franchise. Please contact us today on our website at www.homevestors.com or give us a call at 1-888-495-5220. That's 1-888-495-5220.